Hare Krishna, Feroz. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Normally, if you want people to watch a video, you start with the story and get them into it so that they're interested, and then they'll listen to what you have to say. But for this particular video, we're kind of going to have to do the opposite, because we're in the very beginning of a really serious crisis, and each one of us has his or her own narrative. We're spirit souls, and we're put in this lifetime to learn as much as we can and to remember Krishna as much as possible. So my camera keeps moving. Sorry. So what we need to do is how to determine that little voice that's super soul, because right now the Akasha is so disturbed, and people's minds are so disturbed, and there's so many different opinions, and most people are trying to maintain a veneer of normalcy. And so unless you broach the subject, most people aren't even willing to talk about what could be going on. So what I'd like everyone to do who's listening to this video, or still with me, I should say, and if you are still with me, then you're pretty sincere about figuring out what the right thing to do is, because there's so many things to distract a mind right now. So if what I'm saying kind of resonates with you, please bear with me, and let's try to get ourselves into a more meditative state of consciousness. And the way I like to do that is just look at the reality of the situation. I mean, I am a spirit soul, and I have the very good fortune that I became a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and I have access to the absolute truth. So I'm so fortunate that way. And I'm even more fortunate because I took up Srila Prabhupada's instructions regarding lifestyle. And by having most of my activities in the mode of goodness, in the last few years, Krishna's given me an amazing amount of realizations. And so by thinking of me as a spirit soul, and if you can hear the sincerity in my voice and kind of realize that I'm not doing this to try to get some of my own personal prestige. I really don't have any other agenda other than that I feel you are my family. You're followers of Srila Prabhupada, or even if you're not followers of Srila Prabhupada, if you're still listening to this, you're somebody who wants to serve God, who wants to know what the truth is. And so you want to know how to listen to your heart. So the first part of that is just kind of get the feeling that you're a spirit soul and you're inhabiting this body. And maybe think about yourself sitting in your heart. You're the spirit soul, and you're seated there, and your consciousness is pervading your entire body. So you can feel your fingers, and you can feel your toes, and you can kind of move around in your head. But the thing is, you're not alone in the body, are you? You have a friend there that you tend to ignore a little bit. It's that super soul. So maybe you could, in this meditation, you could just imagine yourself falling at Paramatma's lotus feet and asking him to help you. Explain you're in a crisis and you don't know what to do and you need some guidance. In all likelihood, the guidance that he would give you would be in the form of listening to Srila Prabhupada's lectures. He talked many practical things in his audio tapes. And I found in my own narrative that if I have to make a decision and my heart is really, I don't know, and I feel very sincere, then I will go and grab a book, kind of grab a book at random off of the bookshelf and then open it up again at random and read what it says. Interesting here, I happen to get the Canto 8, Chapter 12, Text 30, and the translation is, and this is the story of Mohini Murti bewilders Lord Shiva, which I found to be a very interesting story. After following her with great speed, Lord Shiva caught her by the braid of her hair and dragged her near him. Although she was unwilling, he embraced her with his arms. Wow, what an outrageous, what an outrageous verse from the Bhagavatam. There's so many things that we can get from that. I mean, after this whole experience later on in the Bhagavatam, Lord Shiva, he, by Krishna's mercy, he comes to his senses, and he's not embarrassed. He's not, even though, I mean, that explains a very violent activity towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he realized he had been bewildered by Krishna's energy, and that was why he behaved in that way. And I know when just now when I read that, I was feeling that I had been similarly off track. I mean, I had spent decades of my life just, working karmi jobs and just basically forgetting that I'm a devotee of Krishna most of the time. I mean, yeah, I keep a Kadasi and I chant a little. I didn't chant all my rounds, but I didn't have the missionary spirit. I wasn't trying to bring people to Krishna because I didn't see any structure there that I could bring them to. And I didn't believe that I could become, spiritually advanced enough to attract people to Krishna on my own. I mean, that seemed really extreme. But somehow or other, Krishna arranged that we've happened into a lifestyle that was the lifestyle that Srila Prabhupada instructed us to do, in which we take care of cows and grow our food. And from that, I've realized that it's actually offensive the way I used to feel about Krishna. I used to feel like, well, he doesn't want to help me make spiritual advancement because I am such a, insincere nonsense or whatever. All we have to do is pray to him for help. That's really it. So anyway, I don't want to make really long. Again, it's 7 minutes. I've been trying to do 5-minute videos, but there's so much to talk about. I want to talk about why it's absolutely essential not to wear masks and feed this monster. There's so many things that we have to do. There's a crisis coming, and we shouldn't just be waiting to see what happens because, well, that's for another video. Hare Krishna, glories to Prabhupada.